we have complained to the court that our lawyers were mistreated by the judge and applied administratively to the CJ, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, to transfer the case file, but they refused. And my lawyer became very afraid that they can no longer represent me in this case and decided not to come. And some of them came earlier, but had to leave. So I opted to represent myself in the case, and I've asked the judge, as you heard in court, I moved a motion for the judge to recuse himself so that we can have confidence in the judiciary once again, particularly regarding this case. And he has graciously allowed the motion to go ahead. The learned Sikh who was representing the federal government also objected to the motion, but he could not discharge the motion. So the judge is going to rule on June 15 this month on my motion for him to recuse himself. If he decides not to recuse himself, we'll continue the trial. But it's going to be a very interesting trial. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so today, proceedings seem to take a different turn as the judge was a bit lenient to you today.
It's not leniency. I came here to for justice. It's not a joke. And I took charge of my own trial. So I was telling the judge and reminding him of what he said in the case, that you can't discharge this case on the basis of technicality. And as I agreed with the language of the law used in conducting today's proceeding, we are not here for a joke. And I reiterated to him also some important things about my life and the life of the country, including the fact that I'm a presidential candidate, which they rejected yesterday. Today they accepted it, that I'm a presidential candidate. And also that we have a date that has a relationship with us in history. June 12th, every year. It's Democracy Day. So I have to prepare for that day as well before I prepare for the next hearing. So that's where we are. It's as simple as AC. AC. And if they decide that we will go for trial, I'm ready. As you can see from the conduct of the proceedings today, that this trial will be an interesting one. I'm repeating, it's going to be an interesting trial. It's very difficult to find lawyers these days. Election matters everywhere. If I can't find a lawyer, I'll represent myself. And it's as good as that. Yes. Trust that, as we always told you, if they won't let us have justice, we'll bring justice to the court. Thank you very much.
Revolution!
Nah.
Anti-revolution! Please. Anti-revolution!
Yeah, I was just trying to, amplify our concerns as a party. The African Action Congress is a party that has always stood up for oppressed Nigerians, that has been socialist driven in policies and position. And of course, there's no way you can stand in that kind of position and not be against a government that is anti-people in nature. And our concern is that our presidential candidate, Sowore, is unjustly persecuted and dragged around the courts. For instance, today he's supposed to be appearing at the magistrate court in Kuje, and he's also supposed to be appearing here before Justice Umar. And when I look at the whole drama around it, it's shameful, and it's, of course, we've always known interference, government interference in all the arms of government. But this time around, it's brazen, it's without repentance, and they don't even care what you think about it. It reminds me of the story in the Bible where Herod heard a king was born when the wise men were passing through. And instead of, Herod had all the opportunity to even get intel and know where Jesus was, but he was consumed with rage, with insecurity. He was feeling like his throne was already off his head just by the birth of a baby, that he had to kill babies in order to kill Jesus, which he didn't succeed in doing. So that's what's happening today. Tinubu has gotten his wise men from the east to see through and realize that Sowore is the biggest threat he has politically. And that's the reason why he's now using the courtrooms to slaughter babies like Herod. You know what I mean? Sowore's case here before Justice Umar is a clear political persecution. And whatever they want to achieve, it's also part of the ingredients that will process this revolution we are talking about. If Justice Umar and Tinubu hatch their plans of convicting a man that has been standing relentlessly for Nigerians for over 3 decades, while we still have bandits doing giveaway and terrorists doing giveaway on TikTok, Tinubu doesn't need a prophet or a soothsayer to tell him that that's the best recipe for the revolution to be fast-tracked, and we will not hesitate. As a party, African Action Congress, we are already mobilizing our members. For as much as they want to drag our presidential candidates in this court, we will be here to ensure that they also lose their freedom. Because if you cannot give us justice, you shouldn't expect that we'll sit back. Resistance will become our duty, and that's why we're here in court today. And we're sending a message to Nigerians too. A lot of Nigerians are frustrated and angry about the system, and what they think is that election provides another opportunity to rewrite their story politically, to give them an opportunity to change bad leaders and install good leaders. It's a lie. In the words of the ignoble minister of FCT, foul. Elections are not going to give you that liberation that you are desiring as Nigerians. It's the Nigerian people rising up against injustice, whether it's in the judiciary, which of course is always used as a tool post-elections to just, they tell you you've lost, you're angry, go to court, because they understand what they want to do. So if people are out there and are sincerely aspiring for democracy or for good leadership, do not be foolish enough to wait for an election that has already been decided by people who have no intent to conduct credible elections. So the answer to this, first of all, I will recommend that every lover of freedom join the African Action Congress. And it's not just because it's a political statement of join my party. It's because it's an ideological position that Nigerians have to bond together to get themselves liberated. And if African Action Congress is a vehicle for that liberation, don't be sentimental about it. If you go to a hospital and you need a surgery urgently, you don't care if the doctor is a Muslim, Christian, Hausa, Yoruba or Igbo. You just want to be treated. So at this point in time, it's not about Sowore, it's not about the logo of the party. It's about what we stand for, and it's about what Nigerians stand to benefit if we bond together. And that's why we're here today. So we want to see the drama that will play out with Justice Umar, who has refused to recuse himself from a case that he obviously has interest in. But we're watching. And this is, like Sowore said, this is not 1960. They will soon realize that this is 2026. Yes, we're a political party. But beyond just being a political party, we are conscious Nigerians that have delved into politics because we understand that we need political action to correct the anomalies in our political space in terms of leadership. So if you are saying what will happen if he's convicted, we do not just believe in, we don't even believe in the credibility of these elections. We are participating to also make the processes transparent, to expose the rot in it. So if Tinubu thinks that convicting Sowore will make him eligible to lead Nigeria, then he will realize that the election that he's waiting for, he might not even live to see it before Nigerians revolt. Nigerians cannot be waiting to all die before election time. With the spate of killings, kidnapping, poverty, hardship in the country now, who is going to guarantee any common Nigerian that waiting for 2027 elections, you will be alive till then, or you will not have died of starvation, hunger, except maybe bandits want to give you giveaways, and you want to survive on giveaways from bandits. So Nigerians are not even sure about their lives. Our right to exist as humans have been threatened. So if Tinubu is thinking he wants to do one gym mix with Justice Umar to get Sowore out of the election so that he can have a free run to power, he should wake up. We have a right as Nigerians to ask leaders that are non-performing leaders to step aside from our political space. It doesn't have to be election alone. That's why we call for revolution. It's a democracy. In a democracy like this, it's very, very normal for Nigerians to revolt against leadership that is strangulating them and denying them of their right to exist as humans. So Tinubu should not think that elections provide the only option for us to change governments. If Nigerians were awake and ready today, why do we even have to wait for 2027? Tinubu should be out of power since yesterday. So that's a failed plan. It's dead on arrival. Whatever he wants to do to Sowore, let's test it and see. Then we'll know what the resistance of Nigerians look like. Nigerians already now, Tinubu is threatening. He's watching and seeing, like I said, his wise men have analyzed and they are still analyzing, and they can see that Sowore is growing in the consciousness of Nigerians. People are beginning to look up to him, not because they love him anyway, but because they realize that he stands as a symbol of hope for them. So if Tinubu wants to go and poke that hope or wants to sabotage the hope of Nigerians, then you have Nigerians to contend with. Thank you.